Welcome back to our channel where we delve into the juiciest and most chilling tales from the world of online dating. Whether you're swiping left or right, the digital dating game is not always what it seems. Tonight, we're uncovering 3 terrifying real-life horror stories that lurk behind the bright screens of dating apps. Strap in and turn the lights down low. These are stories that remind us of the potential dangers lurking in the world of modern romance. Our first story starts with a woman named Sarah. She was a hopeful romantic, always believing that her perfect match was just a message away. Sarah had always been an optimist, someone who wore her heart on her sleeve. She believed in the magic of love and the serendipity of finding someone who truly understood her. Her friends often teased her about her idealistic views, but Sarah remained undeterred. She was convinced that somewhere out there, her soulmate was waiting to be discovered. After weeks of chatting with a charming man named Matt on a dating app, Sarah felt a connection she hadn't experienced in years. Their conversations were filled with wit and humor, and Matt seemed to understand her in ways that no one else had. They shared stories about their lives, their passions, and their dreams for the future. Sarah found herself looking forward to their chats, her heart fluttering with excitement every time her phone buzzed with a new message from Matt. Sarah felt she had finally met someone special. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, and she found herself eagerly awaiting his messages. Each message from Matt was like a small gift, a glimpse into a future that Sarah had always dreamed of. She felt a sense of comfort and security in their interactions, as if she had known Matt for years. The connection they shared was undeniable, and Sarah couldn't help but feel that this was the beginning of something truly special. Their conversations were deep, filled with laughter and shared secrets. They talked about their dreams, fears, and everything in between. Matt had a way of making Sarah feel seen and heard, and she cherished the moments they spent talking late into the night. They discussed their favorite books, movies, and music, finding common ground in their tastes and preferences. Sarah felt a sense of intimacy with Matt that she had never experienced before, and she couldn't wait to take their relationship to the next level. They indulged in endless messaging, and after several video calls, the chemistry was so palpable they decided it was time to meet in person. Sarah felt a sense of anticipation she hadn't felt in a long time. The video calls had only strengthened their bond, and Sarah was eager to see if the magic they shared online would translate into real life. She imagined their first meeting, the moment when they would finally see each other face to face and confirm the connection they had built over the past few weeks. Sarah felt a rush of excitement as she prepared for their first date. She meticulously chose her outfit, wanting everything to be perfect. She spent hours getting ready, carefully selecting her clothes, doing her hair and applying her makeup. She wanted to make a good impression on Matt, to show him that she was just as invested in their relationship as he was. As she looked at herself in the mirror, she felt a mix of nerves and excitement, her heart racing with anticipation. But as Sarah scanned the cafe, her heart dropped. The bustling cafe suddenly felt like a stage for an unexpected drama. She had imagined this moment so many times, but nothing could have prepared her for what she was about to experience. The excitement she had felt just moments ago was replaced with a sense of dread as she searched for Matt among the sea of faces. The man sitting at their table was not the Matt from her phone screen. The discrepancy was jarring, and she felt a wave of confusion wash over her. The man who had been so charming and confident in their messages and video calls was nowhere to be found. Instead, she was faced with a stranger, someone who looked nothing like the person she had come to know and care for. The beaming smile on his profile was replaced with a hesitant smirk, overshadowed by insecurity. His demeanor was a stark contrast to the confident persona he had projected online. Sarah felt a sense of betrayal as she looked at the man in front of her, wondering how he could have deceived her so completely. The realization that she had been catfished hit her like a ton of bricks, and she struggled to process the emotions swirling inside her. Sarah's mind raced as she processed the realization. This man looked completely different. The reality of the situation began to sink in, and she felt a mix of anger and betrayal. She'd opened her heart to Matt, shared her deepest thoughts and feelings with him, only to discover that he had been lying to her all along. The sense of trust she had built with him was shattered, and she felt a deep sense of hurt and disappointment. "Who are you?" Sarah demanded, her voice shaking with disbelief. The man's eyes darted around, avoiding her piercing gaze. She needed answers, an explanation for why he had deceived her so thoroughly. The man in front of her seemed to shrink under her scrutiny, his confidence evaporating as he struggled to find the words to explain himself. Man, voice shaking. I used someone else's pictures. His confession hung in the air, heavy with regret. The weight of his deception was palpable, and Sarah could see the guilt etched on his face. He had hoped to win her over with his charm and personality, but now he was faced with the consequences of his actions. I just wanted to get over my insecurities. His voice was barely above a whisper, filled with remorse. He explained that he had always struggled with self-esteem issues and had used someone else's pictures to create a persona that he thought would be more appealing. He had never expected to develop such strong feelings for Sarah, and now he was faced with the reality of his deception. Shocked and hurt, Sarah left the cafe, cutting all ties with Matt and reporting him to the dating app. The betrayal stung deeply, leaving her questioning her trust in online connections. She had believed in the possibility of finding love online, but now she was left with a sense of disillusionment and heartbreak. The experience had shaken her to her core, and she wondered if she would ever be able to trust someone again. This harrowing experience became a haunting reminder of the dangers of online deception, a microcosm of vulnerability in the vast world of digital dating. Sarah's story serves as a cautionary tale, urging others to tread carefully in the digital age. It highlights the importance of honesty and transparency in online interactions and serves as a reminder that not everything is as it seems in the digital world. Sarah's journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and her story is a powerful reminder to always be vigilant and protect oneself in the ever-evolving landscape of online dating. Our second tale follows Jake, a man who believed he found the one when he matched with an enchanting woman named Laura. They exchanged messages for days, each conversation deepening their connection. Jake felt a spark he hadn't felt in years. He was captivated by her charm, her wit, and the way she seemed to understand him on a level that no one else had before. They shared stories about their lives, their dreams, and their fears. It was as if they had known each other for a lifetime, even though they had just met. After a delightful dinner, they both felt an intense connection. So much so, they quickly arranged another date. Their chemistry was undeniable, and Jake was convinced he had met someone truly special. They laughed, shared secrets, and made plans for the future. It was a whirlwind romance that seemed almost too good to be true. Jake found himself daydreaming about Laura, imagining a life where they were inseparable. But after their second meeting, something began to change. Jake noticed subtle shifts in Laura's behavior that made him uneasy. She started asking more personal questions, probing into his daily routines and habits. At first, he thought it was just her way of getting to know him better, but soon it felt invasive. Her messages became more frequent, and she seemed to want to know his every move. At first, Jake thought it was coincidence when he spotted Laura at his gym, then again at his favorite coffee shop. He brushed it off, thinking perhaps they just had similar tastes. But the frequency of these encounters started to raise red flags. It was as if she was always one step ahead, knowing exactly where he would be. He began to feel a sense of unease, but he didn't want to jump to conclusions. However, as time went on, the encounters morphed from uncanny to terrifying. Laura seemed to be everywhere Jake went, and it was no longer just a coincidence. She would appear out of nowhere, always with a smile as if nothing was amiss. Jake started to feel paranoid, constantly looking over his shoulder, wondering if she was watching him. His friends noticed his growing anxiety, but he brushed off their concerns, not wanting to seem paranoid. Laura started appearing at places where Jake frequented uninvited and without explanation. She would show up at his workplace, his favorite park, and even outside his apartment. It was as if she had a sixth sense, always knowing where he would be. Jake's initial excitement turned into dread. He felt like he was being hunted, and no matter where he went, she was always there, lurking in the shadows. Jake began to feel trapped. The woman who once brought joy to his life was now a source of constant anxiety. He couldn't escape her, and the walls seemed to be closing in. His home, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison. He started losing sleep, his mind racing with thoughts of how to escape her grasp. The fear was all-consuming, and he felt like he was losing control of his life. The woman he had thought was perfect was now a source of dread. He couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, and his once peaceful life was now filled with fear. Every time his phone buzzed, his heart would race, fearing it was another message from Laura. He became hyper-vigilant, constantly checking his surroundings, but no matter what he did, he couldn't escape the feeling of being watched. After weeks of this unsettling behavior, he decided to end things. He hoped that by cutting off contact, he could regain some sense of normalcy. He sent her a message, explaining that he needed space and that their relationship wasn't working out. He blocked her number, deleted her from social media, and hoped that would be the end of it. But deep down, he knew it wouldn't be that easy. Little did he know that would only escalate the situation. Laura's behavior became more erratic and unpredictable. She started showing up at his door, banging and screaming, demanding to know why he had cut her off. Her messages became more frantic, filled with anger and desperation. Jake realized that he was dealing with someone who was not just obsessed, but potentially dangerous. Following the block, messages began flooding in, frightening, alarming messages that made him feel terror-stricken in his own life. The messages were relentless, filled with threats and accusations. She accused him of betrayal, of leading her on, and promised that he would regret his decision. Jake's fear turned into panic, and he knew he had to take action before things got worse. Faced with the fear for his safety, Jake turned to the authorities. He filed a report, hoping the police could intervene and put an end to his nightmare. He provided them with all the messages, the details of her stalking, and hoped they would take it seriously. The police assured him they would investigate, but Jake knew that even with their help, he might never feel truly safe again. This experience left him forever wary of the dating apps he once found exciting, a stark reminder of how quickly romance can turn into a nightmare. Jake deleted all his dating apps, vowing never to use them again. The ordeal had changed him, leaving him haunted by the memories of Laura's obsession. He realized that the digital world, with all its promises of connection and love, could also be a gateway to danger and despair. Jake's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes the person who seems perfect can turn out to be your worst nightmare. Our final tale features Emily, who thought she had found a sincere match on a dating app. She had been single for a while and was excited about the prospect of meeting someone new. Emily had always been cautious with online dating, but Ryan seemed different. His profile was well crafted, his messages were thoughtful, and he appeared genuinely interested in getting to know her. Chatting with a seemingly nice guy named Ryan, their conversation quickly moved to a messaging app, deepening their connection. They shared stories, dreams, and even personal secrets, making Emily feel like she had found someone truly special. They would spend hours texting, sharing their daily lives, and even planning future dates. Ryan's charm and attentiveness made Emily feel valued and understood, but as their chats grew more intimate, Ryan began to spin tales of hardship. He spoke of family troubles and financial woes, painting a picture of a man in desperate need. He described his struggles in vivid detail, making Emily's heart ache for him. He talked about his sick mother, his job loss, and the mounting bills that he couldn't pay. He claimed to need money for a family emergency. His pleas were heartfelt and urgent, making Emily feel a strong urge to help. He would send her long messages filled with desperation and gratitude, making it hard for her to say no. Emily found herself torn between her growing feelings for Ryan and the nagging suspicion that something wasn't right. Emily, feeling compassion, engaged in a back and forth that tugged at her heartstrings. She wanted to believe in the goodness of people and thought she could make a difference in his life. She considered sending him money, thinking it would be a small price to pay for helping someone she cared about. But the more she thought about it, the more uneasy she felt. As she considered helping him, a nagging doubt crept in, urging her to dig deeper. She started to question the authenticity of his stories and decided to do some research. Emily began to notice inconsistencies in his tales, small details that didn't add up. She decided to look up his name and the stories he had told her, hoping to find some reassurance. It was in her search that she uncovered a chilling truth. The more she dug, the more inconsistencies she found in his stories. She discovered that the photos Ryan sent were actually of a model, and the name he used was linked to multiple online scams. Emily's heart sank as she realized she had been deceived. The photos Ryan sent and the name he used were all fabrications. He had created an elaborate web of lies to deceive her. Emily felt a mix of anger and betrayal as she pieced together the truth. She realized that Ryan was not the man he claimed to be, but a skilled manipulator who preyed on vulnerable individuals. His identity was tied to an alarming number of online scams, deceiving many just like her. Emily realized she was just one of many victims. She found forums and articles detailing similar stories, each one a painful reminder of how easily trust can be exploited. The realization hit her hard, but it also gave her a sense of solidarity with others who had been duped. With a pounding heart, she severed all ties and reported him. She blocked his number and deleted all their conversations, determined to protect herself. Emily also reported his profile to the dating app, hoping to prevent others from falling into the same trap. She felt a sense of empowerment as she took these steps, reclaiming control over her life. The experience left her wiser, teaching her the hard lesson of caution when it comes to money and personal information online. Emily vowed to be more vigilant and to trust her instincts in the future. She realized the importance of verifying information and being skeptical of too good to be true stories. Though the experience was painful, it made her stronger and more aware of the dangers lurking in the digital world. Our final tale is one that many can relate to, yet few have experienced to this extreme, a ghosting nightmare that turned into a real-life horror story. Meet Alex. Alex thought they had met the perfect match on a popular dating app. The connection was instant, the conversations were deep, and the dates were nothing short of magical. But then, without warning, their match vanished. Alex reached out multiple times, sending messages that went unanswered. Days turned into weeks and the silence was deafening. It was as if their match had never existed. Desperate for answers, Alex did some digging. What they discovered was chilling. Their match had been using a fake identity, and Alex was not their only victim. The person had ghosted multiple people on the app, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered trust. The revelation left Alex feeling betrayed and scared, wary of trusting anyone on dating apps again. This ghosting nightmare serves as a stark reminder to always be cautious and to verify the authenticity of those we meet online. Remember, while the world of online dating can be exciting, it can also be fraught with hidden dangers. Stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and prioritize your safety. And most importantly, never let one bad experience keep you from finding true happiness. If you've enjoyed these real-life horror stories, make sure to subscribe for more chilling tales. And remember, stay safe, stay smart, and happy swiping.